Hello and welcome to another live on Marlene's How To's. And in today's video, we are actually going to be looking at one of my favorite fruits, the pineapple. Growing up in Jamaica, we had so many of these. And so, we found different ways to enjoy it. So we're going to first of all take a look at, I'm going to peel it for you the way we do it back there. It's a special way that we do it. And I did a previous video on that. And it got really a lot of good views, good comments, good interaction on there. So I'm going to show you how I did that live today. I'm going to also show you how to grow it from the top, the best way to go about doing that, because that's the most inexpensive way really to get your own pineapples. Especially if you're in a tropical area, then, you can have it outside all year long. There's really no reason to bring it in. You can plant it in a flower pot. You can put it directly in the, like in your flower beds, and you can have it bare. Okay, so I see two Georgia peaches. Hi, welcome. So glad to see you. So anyway, guys, we are going to go ahead and go over all of those steps. Like I said, I'll show you exactly how to plant it, if you decide to do that. And honestly, even if you have to bring it in like I do and you never get it to be out long enough to bear fruit, it makes a very beautiful house plant because it gets large like this and it looks very green and lush. So either way, you can't miss. Let me just take a look at the chats that are coming up here. So Bruce Lee says, hi, Miss Marlene. Hi, Bruce. Welcome. And I see Lorna. Welcome, Lorna, my Jamaican sister, the decorator. Welcome. And we also have Andrea from Andrea's Kidney Transplant Live. So thank you guys so much for showing up. And if anyone is, on and you wanted to comment on the live chat tab, just feel free to click on there. You can leave me a comment because I love to welcome you directly, just so you feel that extra special welcome. So my husband is going to be my co-host today. He's a good chef, or I should say a good cook. So he's going to be doing a lot of the cooking, but I'll be doing some as well too. So we're going to be doing he's going to be doing kebabs if you like those. The season is coming up. It's getting warmer outside. So of course you want to do, grilling and so on, but you can do it inside too. So he's going to do it inside the oven to show you that you can do it that way as well too. So I'm going to have to peel it up, of course, for him to do it that way. And we're also going to be doing a pineapple upside down cake. And this is an all-time favorite, but guess what? I'm not doing it like from scratch. I can, but just for the ease of the video, not to keep you here for too long, we're going to do it using the mix. So we'll be using the pineapple slices along with the mix and all the other things that go into it. All right, so let me take a look here again. So Two Georgia Peaches says, I love pineapples. Bruce Lee says, hi, Andrea. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Bruce Lee. Okay, all right, guys. So good to see you. So of course, I need to have you come down a little bit to see what we have here. So I know some people, when they peel their pineapple, they kind of use it, they have like the core and the different things that they use. But in Jamaica, we peel it like from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we do that so that we can have it to, cook our other products. Once my husband gets a chance, he'll come over and say hello to you guys. So I'll be going back and forth a little bit. So of course, I'll need to get a container that I can, or maybe just a plastic bag I can put my my peel in. Sometimes, what I'll do is actually boil the peel along with some of the other parts and make a nice pineapple drink as well too. But today I'm just going to toss them. I'm not going to, do that part today. But they say the skin actually, guys, is very good for you too. It has a lot of, health properties in there. So another reason, to do that. So we're going to go ahead. Do you want to come and say hello? Because he's going to be doing a lot of cooking for us today. So that's Mark right there. He likes speaking another language. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me bring it down for you here. And be sure to give me a thumbs up too if you're liking the video, so that way they send it out to other people so they can see it. So what we normally do is, and I like to use a knife that's serrated like this one right here because it's easier to handle. It's not too sharp. And so I don't have to worry about it slipping because, the pineapples, they can be kind of tough. So you have to be careful with them. So normally I just kind of like line it up like that. And then we go ahead and we start peeling. And pineapples are actually from the family called bromeliads. You'll see some of those plants that they sell like in Home Depot and those other places too, where you can actually buy the ornamental type of bromeliads and you just grow them and they produce some nice flowers like in the center right here. So I don't have one to show you, but you can look it up if you care to do that. They're called bromeliads. This is a part of the family. And this is the most popular one that belongs there as well too. And believe it or not, guys, you see these parts right here? This is where the seeds form. So if you leave this long enough, because you'll notice that this one, the color is pretty rich. Because sometimes when you get them from the store, they have that kind of green color, especially in America. They tend to have that green color. and they're still sweet. They're fine and they're okay to eat. We typically more see the yellow skin ones, but I got this, that kind of green color, but I let it sit for a few days and then, it got more yellow. So of course it's very, very sweet right now. But like I was saying, if you keep it long enough, you'll see that in here, this is where the seeds actually form to give you your, so if you wanted to grow pineapples from seed, which takes a longer time, you can get the seeds from here once it has gotten a little bit older, but you may end up losing your pineapple because by then the taste is not going to be so good. But on occasion, I've seen them growing up. Sometimes you may even see a little flower inside there too. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that before, but definitely it happens because I have seen it for sure. So we're just going to go ahead and start, peeling our pineapple round and round. And it's interesting the way that different cultures, different countries do theirs, because I've seen one where they actually found a way to just pull them out from here. I thought that was very interesting, but this is what I grew up doing. I saw my mom do it. All the, like the pineapple vendors in Jamaica, I would see them doing it the same way. Let me just keep track of the chat. You said, I've never seen the flower. We eat it way before that develops. Yeah, I know. Well, on occasion though, I have seen a little flower in there, and that's how we did it. If you hear any little rustling in the background, we're just trying to get some things out for you. All right, guys, so we're moving along here. Whoops. Don't run away from me, pineapple. By the way, Lorna, I don't know if you're going to be showing us any of your garden this year. I really enjoyed your garden video. It was absolutely wonderful. I said, well, look at Lorna. Lorna got that low-key, she got that low-key green thumb. It's like, well, I didn't know. It was an older video, but I went back. Sometimes I'll go back when I have a little time, and I'll be there watching. Gotta turn it on a little bit. It's got a little loud. I'll go back and watch some older ones sometimes when I get a chance. And so I did see that. So let me just wash the board off so we don't have it, all of these, scraps and stuff going in on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that washed off so it's nice and clean for us. So we have it back there now. So we did talk about these little spots right here that they are on there. Let me just wash my hands and come right on back around. And like I said, guys, I'm going to show you, exactly how I use the or we plant the top, because I've had one for about 2 years now. And if I were in somewhere like Florida, like my friend Rosalind, she did a video recently and she showed us where she she actually had 2 of them that were bearing from there, So if you're in a tropical area, it's a lot easier because they're out all year to get all the energy, and they just keep going. So you get to enjoy it that way. So we have it like this way so far, and we're going to go ahead and get these out, and I'll show you how we do it. First, we take the bottom off, this part right here. And I like that you guys are talking to each other on the chat. So, everybody feels included. So like this part here, now we typically use this part, just, cut pieces off to make the drink, the pineapple drink. Just blend it out in the blender. And like I said, sometimes, we'll boil the peel as well. Of course, you have to wash it first. I always do. And you just put all of those in there together and you can make it. So that way you're not really wasting any of your pineapple, which is what I had said about my, the video that I did. And that video did really well. A lot of people, they still watch it. So that's, that's good. So we have it like so here now. So what we do next is we go in with a knife and then we start trying to get, well, let me take a little bit off because I can still see a little bit of the outside skin here. So let me go ahead and take that part off because we don't want to have any of that on there. And then we're going to go ahead and just start getting these little parts out here. Some people call them like eye spots. I don't know what you guys hear them referred to, because I know that typically when they use like some of the peelers and the corers, the automatic ones, they go all the way in. So all of these parts get carved off, but then you're wasting a lot of the pineapple, which I don't like that. So it takes a little bit longer, but and it's actually relaxing doing this too. It's a little lopsided, but that's okay because we're gonna cut it up anyway. And they even have a hairstyle that looks kind of like this too, where they cut it kind of slant like that. So you can see how it's looking there so far. So let's go ahead and go in. And you know that they say that pineapples are actually good for it's good for like intestinal parasites. It's just amazing some of the properties of some of these things that we eat and we don't even know until they do a lot of research and find out, you know, what they're good for. So I think that that is absolutely amazing. Everything is there that we need, you know, in all of these trees and the flowers and all of that. And of course, you don't want to do, you know, all of it at one time together because then you're going to go in too deep. So just do a little section at a time and get them out from there. Let me see what's going on in the chat here. She says, so, okay. So she says, before I became a diabetic, I would eat some really sweet pineapples, so sweet that my lip would itch from the sugar. Yes, and I remember those days too growing up. Sometimes you'd eat them, and the mangoes sometimes too, they're so sweet, it's like around your lips would start itching. So I definitely understand what you're saying there. But you know, even though that happens to you, it's kind of like, okay, you know, that's a price you have to pay, but you know, it was worth it, you know, in a situation like that. We're gonna go ahead and cut some more out. So we're moving into the summer months, guys. So, well, not quite yet, but we're not too far away from them. So you're going to see a lot of pineapple. Of course, they're delicious in fruit salads. You just cut them up and have them, you know, with other fruits. But of course, there's so many other things that we can do with them. So we're just going ahead and getting them out. Round and round we go. If you miss any little spots, you could just go in and kind of like slide them off, but we still have our little grooves in there, and that's what we want. And it's especially cute, you know, like if you're arranging it in a fruit salad where you want to see those nice little patterns, not just a chunk of pineapple. You want to use this one? No, I like the bigger knife, actually. Thank you. My husband just asked me if I wanted to switch knives, but I like when the knife is bigger, and I like when it has the, like I said, you know, that serrated edge, because I feel like I have a little bit more control over the knife, like it won't slip off, because this can be a little, it's sweet and it's sugary, so it can be just a little bit slippery too. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're, you know, not having any slip ups there. The last thing we need is anything like that happening on here. And then at the bottom, I just go in and just cut that part off like that. So you see how it's coming along so far, guys? So she says, I don't indulge. Andrea says, I don't indulge so much anymore. Fingers crossed. Okay. And that's, you know, a lot of things I would say is in moderation. You know, you just have a little bit here and there. Doesn't have to be a case where you have to have a lot, just to satisfy that craving that you might have, so you don't keep, you know, like thinking about it all the time, and then you end up overindulging. All right. So we are moving along here. All right. So we're getting there. So we have a big holiday coming up in Jamaica. That would be Labor Day. And we also have Memorial Day coming up in America, depending on when you're watching this video, because I know a lot of, you know, the views sometimes come afterwards. So those are, you know, usually a sign that summer is not too far away. So we start, you know, getting plans for outdoor activities and all of that. Like I was saying before, pineapples are quite a big part of that whole activity. So my husband's actually going to be cooking. He's going to be cooking some chicken along with it, like kebabs. If you were just joining on here, he's going to come in and do that. So we're going to get this cut up, and he's going to be using it for that. Just want to check in with you every now and then on the chat as well to see how we are doing. So you can see them coming out little by little there. You have the meat ready from out the plastic pack. Probably just put them in a bowl. So we're almost there. So just take a look around. You may have missed a spot here, and then we just go right back. And then, of course, you always want to do it on a slant like that. And you guys can let me know if you peel your pineapple this way, or you just going to just cut everything off and just forget about the fancy cuts and all of that. You know how you do it. I don't know. But I've always done mine this way, as far as I can remember, thanks to my mom. She's the one who showed me how to do it that way. And I never looked back. And when they say, oh, you can use a corer and all of that, let me get this out of the way. I haven't really done that. So this is it right here, guys. This is how we are looking. And then normally I just turn it on the side. And if you can always watch, I should have probably linked that video below so you could see, afterwards if you want. But it's pretty much the same steps right here. Where I'm going to go in and start slicing it. And of course, this part in the center right here is kind of tough. Some people eat it. Sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, I may eat that part. But for the most part, most of us don't. But it's good to use this part, though. Like I said, you're making the drink so as not to waste it. So like that part in there, that's kind of like the core in a sense. And, like the bottom parts, like right here, you can always put those, just cut them up a little bit and use them to make your drink. So there we have it. We're going to go ahead and get started slicing it. So this is what the first one looks like. And you see, kind of looks like the sun. And that's what I like about it, the shape of it right there. And that's how it looks. That's a nice thick slice, which I think he wants because he's doing those kebabs. I'm going to go in and cut this one as well. And there you go again, guys. It looks so pretty. It just reminds me of a sunflower. Absolutely love it. I'm going to go in for the next one. And you can do them a little bit thinner. Like if you're doing them, like just to eat the slices, you can do them a little bit thinner. But for what he's doing, I think that this is a pretty good size. One thing I noticed about pineapples, and I'm sure that you have to if you've eaten them for a while, is that usually the bottom part of the pineapple, it tends to be sweet. And as you get towards the top of the pineapple, you'll find that it starts to get a little bit sour. When you're cooking something like we are today, of course, that doesn't matter too much to us. I'm just going to have all the other things along with it. So here's another nice thick slice right here. Let me see. So, Minister Moore, good evening, good evening. She says good evening to everyone. So we just finished peeling our pineapple Jamaican style, where we cut it, we got the grooves right here, so that we can have the nice pattern where it looks, kind of a little bit like a sunflower almost. And that way we're not, losing too much of the fruit. It has that nice look. And where you go to the top, it's not as obvious, but, that's kind of like how it's shaped, like so. Kind of like that. You can see it real good right here. So that's how they are. And that's kind of a Jamaican thing, we like doing it that way. This piece is a little off to the side, but nonetheless, we are going to use it. So again, just be another part here. You can cut this off and use it. So what I was saying though, guys, is that you can use the top. You can plant the top and get your pineapple plant from there, and it will bear for you. My brother has done it many times. He lives in Florida. One of my brothers, Rosalind from J Mom Creations, she has her pineapples down there. So it's very easy. You can do it. But like I said, if you're in a climate where you have to keep bringing it in when the weather gets cold in the fall, well, it could be a little bit of a downer. You may not want to do it, but let me show you how I'm cutting it right here so you can see how you would actually do it. So it's like right here, this is where the fruit ends. We're just going to go in and cut it right in that part right there. Make sure you can see it right there. So we're just going to go in and cut it off so you can see what it looks like right here now. So this is the top of our pineapple. I'm going to put these over here. I have to figure out if I'm going to use them or not because I hate to see it going to waste. So this is what it looks like here, guys. And I'm going to show you what you would do to plant it to get the best results. So that way it doesn't, get spoiled and messed up on you. You just get my hands washed off here. And then we will take a look at that step. Because I've had one now for 2 years. But again, because I have to bring it in when the weather gets cold. For that reason, it hasn't beared yet because it's like it takes a couple steps forward and then it takes a couple steps backwards. So that's where the problem comes into play. So I have my little bowl right here, guys. This is it right here. We're going to be putting our water. I can put a little bit of water in here to start because it's going to be water propagation that we're going to be doing. So you can see it right here. So what you want to do is you want to go in and pick off some of the bottom leaves right here. And you can just pull them out because you don't want to have the leaves right here sitting in the water, because if they are, just like if you get a bunch of roses and then you put it in the water and then the leaves fall off in there, you know what's going to happen. After a while, the water gets bad, it starts to smell and all of that. So you don't want to have these leaves down in there. So we're going to go ahead and pick them off like so. And then you put them in there. Can I get another bag, please? Because I may end up using those over there. And they're very easy to come out. And I wanted to show you something about it too that you maybe never noticed before. Look at this right here, guys. Let me show you. Those are roots. Can you see them? Those are roots that are already coming out. I'm sure you can see that one right there. Let me know if you can see them. That the roots are right there coming out. So, yeah. So they are there because, and this is what I say to myself all the time, when you see how these plants, when you're doing gardening, flower, you love flowers and you keep track of them and so on. You see how much, these plants try to survive. They do everything, weeds especially, because we had to deal with some today, and that is no joke. But then you see how resilient these plants are, and they try so hard to survive. It's just kind of like, we have to fight too. You have to fight for life every single day. It is a blessing, and we don't take it for granted. Just like how they push through, we have to do the same thing. So we're taking them off. Taking them off. And I think that might be enough. So let's take a look at it now so you can see what I'm talking about. So you'll see it right around there. See the little roots right there, guys? Let me see if I can find the longest one. I think this one right here. See that one right there? That is actually a root that's coming out. So we're going to put it in the water. But you put a little water in there first and you check to see. So I don't think this is high enough. I'm going to put a little bit more water in there. And it's good to have a clear container, just like with any type of water propagation. It's good to have a clear container so you can keep a track of how it's doing. You can see when the roots are growing out longer. And that way, you can monitor your plants. I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. I am right here. The faucet is right next to what we're doing here. So there you have it, guys. So this is ready to sit right here, maybe for about, I'd say 3 weeks or so. And then it'll be ready to plant in some soil. And you can let me know if you wanted me to do a video showing you how to do that and show you how far mine has come. It's gone in and out, so some of the leaves are a little bit bent, but this is pretty large. It's maybe like about this wide. You have to put it in a special corner in the living room next to the door that has some light coming through, because if it doesn't get light, it's going to die. It does need some light coming in, as long as it's not touching. And the leaves are pretty, firm and strong too. So it's a pretty resilient plant. So this is it right here. We're going to go ahead and leave it in here. And what you want to do, you want to change your water. Just like if you had cut flowers, it's the same thing. You'd want to change your water once per week. So just pour it out, put some new water in, and it's going to be good to go again. So this would be your pineapples that you're going to grow from the top. It's always amazing when you see how these things happen. So I'm going to set it right over here. I just wanted to show you this beautiful plant that I got recently. I went to visit a friend for a meeting that we had. And she had this plant. She had a lot of it, flowing off. Just like Minister Carol, she has some pothos at her home, and they're flowing all the way over down to the ground. And they're absolutely gorgeous. And hers was in a similar situation. So I said, can I get one of these? Because guess what? My mom used to have these in Jamaica. So it's a very good memory of her. And this is actually called the arrowhead plant. You can see, and I can see why. It's called the arrowhead plant because it looks just like an arrowhead. It's almost like a heart shape, but a little bit more narrow. And they have different shades of these. So we'll see how it's going to do. But so far, I just wanted to show you like what to expect from your pineapple. Just like how you see these roots coming off here. I want to get it on my laptop. So you can see the roots coming off down there, dripping the water. That's what's going to happen to your pineapple. But you're probably going to see a little bit more because it goes around in a circle. So that's the water propagation that you're going to use for your pineapple plant. just so amazing. I'm washing my hands right now. It's just so amazing, you know. Like I said, when you see how these plants, you know, they strive to survive. They do everything. That's, they got a good workout today working on those weeds in the yard. Because I try to do my stuff, you know, more natural, not to put too many chemicals, but sometimes you may have to resort to that, just depending on how it is. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the video so far. So this is one of them here. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm doing. Just going to bring it down a little bit. So like I said, the core in the center right here, it's a little bit tough. So we're going to go ahead and just get those out. So he's going to be doing like kebabs. I don't want to make them too big, but not too small. We can just get that part off from there. I'll just put them over here and I'm finished. I think this is a reasonable size for kebabs. And I already know how sweet this is going to be because we kept it for a few days to make sure that it would smell really nice and taste sweet. Like I said, you know, when the skin is green, sometimes, you know, they're still sweet, but give it a few more days and trust me, even better. Especially if you're going to be planting the top of it, like we just went over a while ago, even more reason to do that. So I'm not going to cut up the entire pineapple, of course, because we don't need that many. Let me just keep an eye on the chat here. So Neil Chin says, yes, I see the roots. Yes, yes. And Pastor Juanita says, hello, Marlene. Hello, everyone. Pray everyone is having a blessed Saturday. Was taking a nap. Glad to be here. Okay. You got to do that sometimes. That's your body telling you, yes, take some rest. Glad to be here. Always look forward to the live to be with you all. Absolutely. And we love, love, love having you. And I like when you guys talk to each other in the chat. You know, I really like that. So we're going to go ahead and cut some more of these off here. So, Pastor Juanita, let me just show you what I did here since you missed that part, because I did mention that in the invite card that we're planting the top. So we picked off the leaves that were at the bottom, and I showed them that there are already some roots that were already there. We just picked off the bottom leaves, and we set it in some water. This can be used as an ornamental plant if you like. If you don't want to have it bear fruit and just keep it in your house year round, you can do that because it's going to get really large. The leaves get really, really big. Or you can put it in, you know, of course, it's going to go in some soil once the roots have come in, but you can always put it, you know, outdoors all the time in the flower beds or containers if you're in a more tropical area. So I did want to make sure that you did get to see that part. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut the core off. I know some of you eat the core. It's a little tough for me, so typically I take it off. When I was a kid, of course, I'd eat all of that, having every single part of it and sit down and crunch it. All right, so I'll probably do one more slice, and then I think that should be enough. And my husband is setting up to come on over and get started. Were you wanting to do the upside down cake first to show them how you do the top? You want to do that first? Okay. So he's gonna do the pineapple upside down cake. And we're not using these because if you use like fresh slices for pineapple upside down cake, what happens is that because it has a lot of water in it and it's not, you know, like cured or whatever, it will spoil very quickly. So that's the one thing I'd say if you're gonna be making your pineapple upside down cake, then it's best to use one that's in the can, which we have some over there, and you'll see those in a minute. We're just cutting off the core right here. Do you want to use the scissors?
Yeah, that should be done.
Yeah, but the noise is a little bit coming over here. Just a little spot right here. That one might be a little one right there. All right, so we have that, and we have these two. So I think we have enough right here. What do you think, guys? I think this should be enough. Do you think this is enough? Let me just show you what he's going to do for your kebabs today. So all of these things are going to be used. We have bell peppers, we have carrots, we have some celery, we have some onions, and you can use red onions if you have red onions. We planted some red onions recently. My garden is a little bit slow. The vegetable garden is a little bit slow this year because we're doing some work on the backyard. But this is a nice mix of color. Isn't this wonderful already that we're going to be doing? All right. So we have those now. But let's get these out the way for a moment, and I'll have him come over and start with the upside down cake. Let me just clear everything off from over here. Hope you guys have been having a wonderful weekend so far. Sometimes you have some days can be a little difficult, but we just want to try and do the best that we can. Hang in there because, as I say, every storm has to come to an end. No matter how bad it is, whatever hurricane, storm, whatever, no matter how tough it is or whatever, eventually it will have to end. It will pass, and you'll get to see clear skies again. So just hang on in there if you're going through a tough time. We're all going through something right now, different ways, shape, and form. So we'll just go on through and try to make the best of it. We have some cherries right here we're going to be using for, and I'm not even going to turn my mixer on because honestly, since I'm doing it from the box, I'm kind of doing a shortcut today, not doing it from scratch. We have the pineapple slices right there. I'm just going to use a hand whisk to mix it out. And this is a brand that I got today for the pineapple upside down, Duncan Hines. But you can also use Betty Crocker, because typically I think I use Betty Crocker for the most part, but this is the only one I saw over there. So that's the one we're going to be doing today. And you can let me know in the comments if you ever use those to do it, or how you do yours. Let me see. Andrea says, I need to overcome. Absolutely, and you will. Just keep praying and hoping. Trust and believe, and we have to have the faith that it is going to happen. By the grace of God. So did you want to, and I'll move these out the way because we can put these in the refrigerator for right now so they can stay nice and chill. That's going to be my snack for the next couple of days, guys. I'm going to be snacking on pineapple slices. So I want to make sure they're nice and cool to start. Just washing my hands. So the container we're going to be using, well, let me show you over here because we have to start with that first. You can see me over here. So this is what he's going to be using, because how the pineapple upside down cake works is that he's going to put the different coatings on the bottom right here. And then we're going to go ahead and put the pineapple slices in the whatever he mixes up. And then we'll put the cherries in it. And then when it's baked, you probably won't get to see that, unfortunately, because it's not going to be cool enough. I can't have you sitting here for over 2 hours, but you basically turn it upside down. So whatever is at the bottom will become what's at the top. And whoever invented that recipe, that was really smart of them. I absolutely love that.
Maybe it takes about probably half an hour.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get the oven preheated so the oven's going to be ready for us. Oops, I'm turning on the. So let's go ahead.
It says 350.
Okay. So our oven is on countdown.
Should take about half an hour.
All right. So come on over and show them your face so they can see you, and then I'll put it over to the stove so they can see what you're doing over there.
Hey guys, evening. Now, Marlene was saying to you that for the pineapple, sometimes the pineapple is sweeter at the bottom and it's fresher at the top. Sorry. So what I do is basically to get everything to be sweet, I put it in a brown paper bag, which is what I did. I turn it upside down, so all the sugar that's at the top will start to drain to the bottom. From the bottom will drain to the top, and then I'll flip it over. After like 2 or 3 days, once it's starting to ripen, and that way I get a nice sugar all over the entire pineapple. So it's not like it's fresh at the top and sweet at the bottom.
Yeah, I hate when that happens,
Right,
but so that's an option too. You can always flip it around. Let me give you your spoon right there. Move this out the way.
Now, what I do for this, for the pineapple upside down cake, right? The mixture
butter?
we use is basically brown sugar, right? Some people use white sugar, but I prefer using brown sugar. And then I use the juice from either the can if we're using the can one, or I might use juice. But we normally use the can one juice because the juice from this will not be as fresh as what's in the freshly cut pineapple. So that way the cake won't spoil. Right. That way the cake will last about a week or so. Right. So what we'll do is we'll just open this first. Let me wash it off first. Right.
That's a good idea. And I can get some of the cherries out. I'll just put them out already because we're going to need them soon enough. Excuse the noise, guys. Get some of these cherries out.
All right, so let's pour the juice in there.
And did you want the cherries to be halved?
Yep, I need them to be half.
Okay.
That way you don't waste it.
I'm still gonna take out 6 of them because I don't know how many slices it's gonna take.
Let me see.
And guess what? If we don't need them, I'll eat them. Life gotta be a little fun, right? So because we're gonna be cutting them in half, I'm gonna be pulling the stems out from here. If it will let me. We're just gonna pop the stems out from the cherries. Some of them are a little bit squashed or whatever, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna pop them out anyway, and we're gonna use them because they taste good. So this is it right here, our cherry. I'm gonna go ahead and cut them in half. You guys be sure to check out the videos too when you get a chance. I did one on Thursday. I put it out. It's about pink flowers, and it's easy pink flowers. So they're not hard on you. Some of them are perennial, so they come back every year. Some of them are they're annual, so you have to plant fresh ones every year unless you live in a tropical area, where you don't have to worry about fall coming and then they're getting cold and frostbitten and all of that. And you can have them for a longer time, but for the most part, we have those annuals that do that. And I did show annuals and perennials, so you have quite a choice there. And if you have any questions you wanted to ask, in the meantime about gardening or any of my videos that you've seen, or even anything you would like to see in the future, then of course be sure to leave me a comment there, and I'll try to answer you as best as I can. I saw a comment coming over. So as Juanita says, amen. It came to pass. Every time I go through, it makes me stronger for the next test. Andrew, you're in my prayers. We pray for you, although we have never met. This is why I love this platform. Absolutely. Because we're there to help. Because it's never just like a one track, like a tunnel vision. Oh, I'm doing this. So, I can't look at people and their needs and help them and talk to them and stuff like that. So, and that's why I like the live. So I sometimes can't do them because, we're all so busy. But whenever I can, I like the interaction. We can talk to each other, encourage each other, because in these days, we really need that, That's the times that we're living in.
All right. So what I did is I used half.
Let me hold it down so they can see what you're doing there.
Use half of the juice, right, from the can, and I'll basically use the other half for something else afterwards. Okay. So that way nothing goes to waste. All right. So we'll add that.
And that's the can right here. You have different brands that you can use, but this is the one that he's using today. So he was saying he got half of the juice that was on top of these slices, and he's going to be using them. Going to show you how he's using them.
All right. So next, depending on your level of sugar that you can accommodate, because some people, you're diabetic and so on, you want to use less sugar, but I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of sugar. Oops.
I guess we're gonna have small slices of the pineapple upside down, right? Not too much.
Yeah.
For the sugar purposes. Because as you get older too, you kind of want to watch your sugar intake. You don't want to have too much sugar because it's not too good for you. Everything in moderation.
Okay. And I'll just mix it out. All right. Next, what I'll do is that we'll basically use butter.
How much butter? Like a quarter of a stick of butter?
just to grease the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Of the container. All right. So it doesn't stick or burn when you do it. And just get it up on the sides. That's pretty much what it is.
Could we use like Pam, like the spray?
You can,
Uh-huh.
you know,
But you prefer this?
I'm just old school. Butter, butter, give me butter.
Okay. Understood.
Okay, that's pretty much it.
All right. So I'll take this from you. We need this anymore? Or are you good?
No.
Okay.
All right. So next, you can go ahead and place the slices. Right. So when you have a pineapple slices like this, you basically want to place them so they fit like that. You try to fill out the space as best as you can.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see that being a challenge depending on the container that
Right.
you're using.
Now you basically will arrange it so that when you have your slices, you want to have spaces between the pineapples. So because I was using this size container, we'll basically use 4 pineapples slices, 4 rings. Right, and all the boys are gonna go, okay, I want one quarter for myself so I can have
Yeah.
a pineapple for myself. All right, so you can place it just like that. And then what you'll do is that you'll place the cherries just
Bring
right
it back a little bit so they can see it some more. So there you
Right.
go.
And then what you do is you'll basically place the cherries in those spots there so that it's decorated. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 halves, 1 in the middle, and you can put to the sides there. So you have basically 4 cherries, and you cut them in half. So you got about, well, actually 4.5. So you have 4 in the middle and 4 on the sides and 1 in the middle. There you go. All right, so you can go ahead and place the cherries.
So you put them face down or face up?
Face down.
Okay, because I figured it would be shinier if you put the smoother side down.
Well, you can do it either way you want, but I just
Okay.
want to make sure this thing doesn't start fall apart.
Yeah. You know what I saw someone do one time? They put like some coconut flakes in there too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's a lot. It looks so pretty. What do you think, guys? It looks so nice. Look at that. Like that pattern.
All right. So once you've done that, then you'll go ahead and you add your sugar, your pineapple sugar mixture. Okay. Most-
So you can leave me a note in the comments, guys, if you would try this, if you have done it already, if you do yours differently, you know how you do it. We always like to see that. All right, so my oven is preheated, is what it's telling me right now.
All right, and pretty much that's what it is. And then Marlene is gonna go ahead and she's gonna mix the batter, and she'll pour it onto that. All right, so you don't put too much. Just put it like about that, and then what we can do is that we can go ahead and, if you want, you can heat it up in the oven so it evaporates some of the water, and then add a little more, right, the rest of it on there, depending on how much sugar you want on there. Okay. All right. So you want to do that?
It is messing me up today.
It's okay.
Okay. So are you gonna heat that first or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Okay.
Okay. And we're watching you step by step here.
Now, if you want to make it go faster, you can also boil the juices in a pot for maybe, like, say 3 to 5 minutes, so it thickens. But because we don't want to have too much sugar, that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. That way, it's less sweet, right? But for those people that like sugar and can have sugar,
Like for the
you
kids,
can boil it
they,
and let it be a
they'll
little
work it
thicker.
off, so they could
and then,
do that.
you add batter on there and just put it in the oven. So you can just make the batter and put it in there.
Okay, so let's move this off to the side here. So you said it was about, that looked like maybe like about 3 tablespoons what you used
No,
there?
2 tablespoons.
2? Okay.
Yeah. If you want to make it sweeter, you can go ahead and add more.
Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do now is to we are going to just add our batter. And like I said, guys, I'm not doing it from scratch today. Sometimes I do stuff like that, but today is not one of those days. So we just look at the instructions on the back of the box. It's self-explanatory. We all use cake mixes from time to time. And this is saying 1 cup water, 3 large eggs, and half cup of vegetable oil. So that's what I'm going to be putting in. And always remember, guys, whenever you're using these cake mixes, don't throw away the box, because I've been there before. I remember somebody put that on Facebook one time. She's just like, she said, why is it every time I try to make something from the box, I always end up throwing away the box, and I forgot what I'm supposed to do next, or how long I'm supposed to bake it for, or something like that. So I've been there, so I fully understand that. It does happen sometimes. So let's make sure we don't do that today. I'm gonna go ahead and just toss that in here. And like I said, I'm not even gonna put the mixer on, to have you guys. I'm sorry, let me hold it down here. I'm not even gonna have the mixer on, to make noise in your ears and all of that. I'm just gonna use my hand whisk to do it. So I always like to break it up a little bit first, if there are any lumps or whatever, especially since I'm not using the hand mixer. Because you really don't have to. I mean, when I was growing up, my mom, she used, and when we were really little, she used to use a spoon with my grandma, the wooden spoon, creaming the butter and the sugar together back in those days. And then after a while, more technology and everything available to us, she would then start to use the cake mixer. But back then, we would always, rub it with the we would use our wooden spoon. You can tell me if you ever used a wooden spoon, and just cream your butter and your sugar together, and worked out light and fluffy. I remember once she was there watching this movie with Elvis, and he was a star, and he actually died in that show, and she just sat there. She was beating the cake the whole time. That was one of the fluffiest cakes we ever had. That movie was so jarring. That's a word I could use. So we actually need 3 eggs in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add the eggs first. And we use cage-free eggs. People use different kind of eggs. I try to use cage-free eggs. The organic ones can be a little bit pricey sometimes. So, it just depends on what you prefer. But that's what we've been doing for a while. Just trying to, eat as clean as we can. You got a piece of eggshell in there?
No.
Okay. They say, like for the eggshell, if you get a little piece of the eggshell in your egg when you're doing it, just use the same, half of an egg that you had, and just use it to scoop it up, and it comes out easier than if you try to use your hand to grab it, or a fork or a spoon or something like that. So that's what I've been told, and I do see where it works. He's taking out the we call it the egg eye in Jamaica, that little part that gives extra rawness. He's trying to get some of it out, but you don't have to, it'll still be fine. It can be a little tricky too. Let me see. So
I take these out because
you can if you want to, but you don't have to.
It makes it raw. Right,
all right, we should be okay now. So let me go ahead.
Right. This one's pretty big. There you go.
All right, so we have our eggs now, guys. Our eggs are going in. So let me bring it back down here again so you can see what I'm doing. And I should have mixed those first, but it's okay. The main thing, though, when you're baking it and of course, you probably know this, but they say repetition is the mother of learning, so it doesn't hurt to repeat sometimes. But the main thing is to make sure that all of your eggs are good. So you put them in a container, a bowl first, so that way, because you don't want to be just adding them to here, and then one is bad and the others are good, and then you waste your mixture, you waste your eggs and all of that. So my bad, I should have beat it first, but as I say, they're all going to the same place. It'll be fine. So I'm mixing it in a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the water now. So we need to get 1 cup of water, and I have my water here. And this is actually a 2-cup measure. So it will look like I'm using half of a cup, but this cup actually holds 2 cups. And of course, you want that to be water that's at room temperature. So here is our water that's going in right there. Just start mixing it around. And like I said, everything will, come together. And I try not to add everything in at once. And I'm adding in my liquid. I just, what I'm using, adding milk, or, for, baking from scratch, or if I'm using water, as we are in this case, I add a little bit. If you can add all the rest now. And then we're gonna add the oil in afterwards because it needs to get half cup of vegetable oil because you need to have that thickness with it. And I could have used, like I said, the cake mixer with this, but because it's so light and easy, I just don't want to have it going off, making all of that noise on you guys. So this is what the texture is like right here. It looks very runny, but we did follow it precisely, so we know we're doing it the right way. That's how they want it to look. So we'll go ahead now and add our oil to this. And they said right here that we're adding half a cup of oil. You can see it right here. These are instructions. And they said vegetable oil. I'm not sure if you use vegetable oil still. Some people use other types of oil. So we need a half a cup.
It's a quarter of it.
So, which would be 4 ounces. Oops. Get some paper towels here. Same thing again here. I don't just add in everything at one time. I add in a little bit, mix it in. You don't want to overbeat your cake at the same time, but still. Because if you overbeat the cake, it's going to rise a lot and then flop. That's why, like in cases like these, I like to just use my hand, with the whisk and just do it. Not the cake mixer because I don't have to worry about it. So this is what it looks like right here. You can see the texture looking good. And then we're just going to go ahead and add it over to our pineapple slices. And just gently add it on so that they stay in place. Because sometimes, some of these things, they can float up. This is a nice whisk. I'm trying to remember where we got this one.
Solid store.
Because we bought one from a dollar store that was plastic and that was no good. Oh my goodness, that thing was a hot mess. I'm not kidding either. That thing couldn't beat anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. It was just not working. I said, what a waste of money. So I'm going to put that to soak. So this is it right here. I can't quite show you the bottom, but you kind of get the idea of what we did before where you have, you have the pineapples at the bottom. You can probably see just a little bit under there. You can see the pineapple slices and the cherries. I messed up the ends a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and put it inside our oven now. That oven is definitely nice and ready for it. Like I said, so as to keep our box, we are going to yeah, we need to keep the box. So I'm going to keep it in there. I'm trying to see if they told us how much time. Well, depending on what you're making, 2 8-inch cakes, whatever. So this may be like about, I'd say 30 minutes. We can check it. If a skewer comes out clean or a toothpick, then we know that we are good to go. So that's the pineapple upside down cake. You have to watch your time and see us. Don't forget to see all of that, but at least you see the steps in how to do it. And what we're gonna do next now, we're gonna get going with our kebabs. So Mark, the floor is yours. Just tell me what you need so I can get them over there for you. See all this stuff that's going over there. You show them to them again for those who just came on. We have all of these things that are gonna make the kebabs. We have the carrots, we have the onion, we have the bell peppers of different colors, and of course we have our celery right there. So it's gonna be very, very colorful. And don't forget our pineapple, because that's why we peel it first in that fancy pattern so we can have the cubes of them here. Nice, fresh, and sweet. You need a cutting board?
You need a cutting board and you need this bowl washed.
So here's your cutting board right here. I'm going to bring it down now, guys, so you'll just see what he's doing there. Get a closer look. So there you go. And your skewers, you have your skewers.
Yeah, got it right.
You have them there? Okay. All right. So you're good to go. So take a look for me and see if there are any comments while I get this bowl ready for you.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
And Andre says yes. Um, yes, she wants to try a small piece. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
agree because you gotta
Yes.
eat healthy, so portion control is
That's the
key.
key.
Yep.
You know, that to do stuff in moderation so you can have a
Yes,
little bit
and
of
Minister Moore
something.
says yes, looks great. My favorite.
Okay.
All right, now for the kebabs. All right, you can do it one of two ways. You can basically put the raw meat together with your vegetables and everything, and you basically would just put it on the grill, right? But for the sake of time, because I want to do it quicker, and this way you can do it this way when you have like parties and you have a lot of people coming
People.
over, you can do it ahead of time. So what I'm gonna do is basically cook the meat, right, by itself, and then I'll add the meat to the skewers along with all the different vegetables and so on, right? So for me, I basically just would use like chicken breasts,
breasts.
and then I always wash mine with either lime juice or lemon juice or vinegar, right? To take away all the rawness and whatever is there. All right, so just give me 1 second. Let me wash this off, and then I'll start cutting it up, and then I'll stir fry it real quick for you. Okay?
All right. And so we have our carrots right here. I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't know. Are you gonna be using? Bring this down a little bit. Are you gonna be using like
Just cut it across.
I'll let you cut them how you want. Pass me a little back, please. I don't know if you guys use like the carrots, the peeler for the carrot. I just kind of like run it along a little bit because they're properly washed and everything. So I just scrape them over a little bit. Because a lot of these things they tell you that like as long as it's clean, that part has the most nutrients in there. So I'm just cutting the head off or the top off, I should say. Whenever using these knives, guys, just please be careful because they're sharp and you don't want to have any incidents, especially if you have like kids working along with you on it. You want to make sure. So these were nice and clean. Just scraping them out just a little bit.
375, right?
All right, my people. So here we go now. I think it has everything. I'll just get you some bags if you need it. So you're gonna do the meat first. Let me bring this over here so you can get to that. What did you need? A board?
Yes, I was gonna use a board first.
Okay. Let's get that out of the way. And you need a bowl as well?
Yep.
I need another bowl or something else to put these things in. All right, so you have your cutting board there and you have those over there.
Okay, so you just take one little breast like so. Bring it down just a little bit, right? And you look at the grains, that how it runs, right? Because if you when you cut it, you want to make sure that when you place it on the skewer, it's not going to tear, right? So I'm going to do it like in cubes, well, like so. So about that size. Okay, that's carrot right there. Right, about that size. And then I'll cut it in half. So you want to have it about this size. So it's about like a 1 inch, 1.5 inch size cube, right? You pretty much would cut them all about the same size. And the reason for that is you want to make sure that it cooks evenly, right? So if they're all the same size, it'll cook quicker.
Do you want these cut across? Because I'm actually cutting these for you for the purpose of time. Do you want them cut across or you want them at a slant?
Across.
Across. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm basically going to use 2 chicken breasts. It's going. So okay, so that's how it is right there, right? So for simplicity, all you got to do is just season this with like garlic and a little soy sauce, and I'll stir fry it that way. Okay, right, 1 second. Wash your hands.
In the meantime, I'm just getting these cut up right here, like the peppers and the celery and all of that. So we can have them already prepared. Save us some time.
All right, I use low sodium soy sauce. All right, so pretty much you just drizzle on it. Just a little bit, just to give it color. All right, nothing heavy. All right, so it's about probably, let's say, a teaspoon.
The bell peppers, they smell so good. That's all it is in the bell peppers.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
And then you add just a dash of garlic powder. And if you're measuring, again, that would be about a tablespoon of soy sauce and about half teaspoon of garlic powder. All right. Remember, because you have your cake going on in the oven, don't bang things around too much because that can cause the cake to fall. Okay.
So we'll just do like a portion of it, guys, just so you can, we're not going to cook all of it. We'll just do enough, for the purpose of time so you can get an idea how to do it and you can do it on your own. So I just wanted to show you in the meantime, like once he's doing this, I wish we were using a different pot so you could see it, like every step of the way. But that's okay. I just wanted to show you what I did so far with these. So far, I have the celery right here that I cut. Let me just show you the sizes that I did them in. That's what he asked us to do. So we have them just like that size. We have our celery right, and it smells so good already, guys, even though they're not even cooked yet. And I have the carrots right here. You can see the size. We have 3 different colors of peppers, of bell peppers. So it's gonna be a very, very colorful. So it's springtime right now. It's eventually when summer gets here, or even already, people have already started, to do all of these dishes, outside more. So these are the yellow bell peppers right here. We have some orange bell peppers as well, and we have some red bell peppers. So all 3 colors. So far you can see the colors that we have here. Let me show you so you can see them over here. So we have the red, we have the yellow, orange, and the green. The orange from the carrots as well. And of course, we also have the green from the celery. So we have a nice mix of colors going on there, and that's what we want. It's gonna look really, really nice. There's the chicken right there. Put some oil in the pot so we can get going. Maybe that should be enough. So it's gonna go ahead and put some garlic. Right? I mean, if you have garlic powder on there, you can always just go along with it. You don't necessarily have to also add garlic in, but he likes a lot of garlic, so I think that's probably why he's doing it. Adding extra garlic.
Yep. Takes away the rawness, and it's also good for your stomach.
Yeah, that too. Our little handy dandy fork right here. And these are skewers right here to put them on. And these you can get them like at, Walmart, Target, all those other stores, Publix. This is a length because you want it to be long enough so you fit enough things on it, as you slide them on along. But at the same time, you have a little room for your finger so you can hold it up. So that's oh, and you have the longer ones too.
Right.
Yeah,
Typically, we use these when we're putting them on the grill.
Yeah.
Because they're a whole lot longer. But because I'm doing them in the oven, I'll basically use. You can either use a 6-inch or 4-inch size, and these is typically like about 12, to 14 inches. So because we're using these in the oven, we'll just use the shorter ones. But typically, when you're using it on the grill, you use a longer one, just to make things go a little easier for you.
Mhm.
All right, and that way you can also not get burnt when you're sticking it on the grill.
Right. You need that extra length, that extra forgiveness in a sense when you're doing it.
Right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just stir fry the chicken real quick. And while that's going, I'll go ahead and cut up. Well, these are cut already. I'm just going to finish cutting them, and then we'll start layering everything on. Okay, behave yourself.
That's the little garlic there showing herself out. You know how that goes already. All right, so you want a longer fork?
Longer.
Okay. So they used to have like those they used to have the glass pots back in I think it was the late 80s or 90s. You could see right through them. They stopped making them, but then that would allow you to see exactly what he's doing. But oh well, we just have to use their imagination a little bit. No, it's okay. Not with the pot on the oil.
Yeah.
We have some rice steaming over here too, so let me just stir the rice a little bit. Make sure it's nice and fluffy. A lot of people use like rice. They use rice cookers nowadays. So many people just steaming the rice from straight, but we just do it that way. So this rice has a very nice texture, which you can see from over there, but I like what they do. You can see the individual grains and it's still properly cooked. It's not tough or anything like that, so it's looking good. So our kebabs are coming along. Of course, you don't want to forget our pineapples, which is the star of the show today. Oh, I'm missing the comments. Let me take a look here. My apologies. Hi, Cheryl. How are you, my dear? Welcome, welcome. You missed the first part. You're gonna have to go back and catch the replay because we peel the pineapple Jamaican style, and then I showed how to plant it because I know you guys do a lot of planting down there in the yard. So I showed how to pick the top off and get the leaves off at the bottom, and then you have roots showing already even from you just bought the pineapple. They're already there. You just set them in water for about 3 weeks. Change your water once per week, and then you'll be good to plant it in some soil. It's either in a container that's large, or you can put it like in a flower bed. So she says, I just started to have. She said, "Oh, hey guys, something smells good in the kitchen." So we have. You can smell it, huh? I've just started to have a great appreciation for chicken breast. Thanks to the gentleman of the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I usually think it's too dry, but I guess it's a cooking texture. Yes, or the technique. Both. Absolutely both. Hi, hey Keisha, how are you? Welcome, my dear. Welcome, welcome. You're gonna have to catch a replay to show how we started out. So glad to have you. We certainly appreciate you. Mark is making the kebabs because we did the pineapple upside down cake and that's already in the oven baking right now. So he's doing the kebabs and I've showed them how to roll it. And we have we're gonna be using all of these colorful things right here. Oh, she says at work. Okay. Well, more power to you. Make that money. So we have the yellow bell peppers, we have the orange bell pepper, we have the red bell pepper, we have some celery here, which is green. So we have a nice mix of colors. This almost looks like some of the flags, the African flags. And then we have the pineapples. They're so sweet and so juicy. So all right, so those look like they might be, are they almost ready?
All right. Another thing that you can basically do also to get through it quicker is that
Mm-hmm.
you can also boil the chicken and you just add all this, the spices in the water, whatever
Mm-hmm.
flavor you want. If you're doing Italian, you can add, just Italian seasoning. If you're doing jerk, you can add the jerk to the water, the jerk seasoning to the water, depending on what you want. So you can do it that way also instead of stir frying it, and that way everything is cooked a whole lot faster. All right,
Yeah.
but it's almost ready.
All right. I think we could be ready now to cook a little bit in the oven. Are you gonna be putting them on top of this?
Yes.
Is that where they're going? So just to show you guys, because you'll need, since we're not doing it on the grill outside, you'll need to have like, like this is kind of like some of these are like baking trays that come with some of your toasters or your oven or whatever. And you have a little rack that you can put on top of it. So that way, if there's anything excess, it can drip in the pan and you just rest them on there. And of course, you have our skewers. We're gonna skewer them and then just rest everything on top here. So that's kind of like how we're gonna do it. So far so good. So let me see what the chat is saying. I don't want to miss the chat. Also, Keisha says yummy, absolutely, and Cheryl says, "Oh, we never did that. Maybe that's why they haven't been growing." Yeah. So set them in because they will grow most likely, but when you put them in the water first, and you knew my mom and everything. So I just wanted to show you this right here, the same water propagation technique. I got these from someone that I visited recently, and I haven't seen these a lot over here in the United States. It's called the arrowhead plant. She used to have these. A lot of other people in Jamaica too. Different shades of green. This one is a pale green color. But just to show you the roots coming up right here, you can see them. Anything that you see sticking at the bottom, the clear parts there, those are the roots. And then you can just transfer these over into your soil, whether in the flower beds or in the pots. So you do the pineapple in the very same way. And just change your water once per week. After about 3 weeks, you should have enough roots so you can get them off to a good start. So that's as far as that part goes right there. So I think we can turn this off now.
I'll take it out.
Yeah. And then he'll go ahead and slice up he'll slice up the other things for you because we have the carrots done and we have the celery done so far. I'm gonna turn off the rice and I think the rice is ready. It has a really good texture. And this is how we like to have our rice. When you're having something like this, you just serve it on a bed of rice. You can see the steam coming off there. But you can see like the individual grains of rice on there. So we know that it is good and ready. Tender, but not heavy. But sometimes some of the rice, they can come out kind of heavy.
Yep.
Well, not this one.
Right. So this is pretty much what chicken is like when you do it, right? So you basically cook it for about, let's say, 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, and then let it cool. While it's cooling, I'll go ahead and start to cut up the other vegetables and spices.
I just want to make sure they can see what we're doing here.
All right, so
and you could use red onions too, guys, because I think the red onion would even give it more of a, even
right.
more color into it, and even more of a, that kind of sweet, savory thing that you get from the red onions. And he planted some recently, so we're gonna have a lot of red onions in a few weeks.
All right, let's take that out so it doesn't burn. All right, so the bell pepper is like about that size because some of them can be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, these are the smaller bell peppers.
Right, you want to make sure you get it like to be about 1 inch size, about. Okay. Cut across.
So you want them to be kind of like big pieces, huh?
Big pieces, right?
Okay.
Okay. So basically grouping them so that when I start packing it, everything.
You can sequence.
You can see have a sequence. Yeah. Exactly.
Everybody get a nice piece of whatever because you don't want to.
All right.
Say,
now for the onions, right? You basically can cut it in half like this, or if you want, you can basically take out the section that you want. All right.
smells so good in here already. Oh my goodness. I'm getting hungry.
Uh, oh, um, Marlene didn't tell you, right? But 'cause she doesn't know.
Uh-oh. What I don't know now.
I'm doing kebabs, and I'm also gonna do sweet and sour pineapple chicken.
I don't know if we have a lot of time for that.
It'll be
Based on
quick.
how it's
It'll
going.
be real quick.
Okay.
It'll be real quick.
All
It'll be real
right.
quick. It'll be real quick.
Yeah, those onions are gonna add that kick into it that we like so much.
All right, so we'll
I
back,
only know of one person that didn't like onions because they were allergic. But other than that, most
back
people
this
like
way.
onions because it gives a nice kick to your food.
Okay. All right, so we have your onions, bell peppers, celery, carrot, pineapple, and chicken. All right. Now you can basically add whatever you want, right? Because some people don't eat meat, so in that case,
Vegan
you just basically have you can have your vegetables and your fruits, and then you
from
can add
tofu maybe.
tofu. You can have mushrooms, whatever you want, right? So let me see how chicken is cooler now. Yep. So I'll go ahead and start to skewer the kebab. All right. So since I'm using the shorter ones, right, I'll just do one of each. So we'll start typically with a carrot because that's hard at the end and it'll hold everything in place.
Yes.
Right. Then after that, I'll put maybe an onion. Then do the chicken, bell pepper. My son loves red, so just to give a
Like that.
variety of colors. Then we can go with celery. Now, these normally cut them a little bit thicker so it doesn't break, but it'll be fine right here. And then we'll add the pineapple, right? Now, the grains, the fibers run that way, so you want to basically not go across like that because it's going to break, right? So you'll basically put it this way, right? So because I want it to sit nicely, let me go ahead and take this off. I'll put the pineapple first here. Then I'll add the celery back here. Okay. And go ahead and add another piece of chicken.
Some of the yellow peppers.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so good already.
All right. I'm going to go orange this time because we got yellow here. Right. Because part of eating is also sight.
Yes.
All right. So you do it that way.
Onions maybe.
Yeah. Onion.
I'm so ready for some of that right now, guys. And of course, you can do this with beef too, right? Like, cut steaks.
Right.
And Andrew, I know you don't eat a lot of meat, so I know you eat meat, but not a lot. Like chicken and so on. So, what would you use? What would you use if you're not using chicken? You could tell us in the chat if you want to. That's up to you, of course.
All right. Let's go a little faster here.
Excuse me one second. Let me just look and see how
Yep,
that cake is
please.
doing. It's well risen, but it needs to cook some more in the middle. It's going along. Let me see if she said anything here. She said, "Oh, I'm coming over for kebabs." Okay. I need to go back in the chat a little bit. So let me see. So Cheryl said, "Oh, we never did that. Maybe that's why they weren't. Oh, for the pineapples, maybe that's why they weren't growing. We've been growing some forever." Well, that's gonna solve your problem today, Cheryl. You'll be good to go with that from there. So Cheryl says, "Love bell peppers in all colors. Meat, well, kind of, sort of. And not the colors, but sometimes it repeats. When I eat it, it kind of repeats on me a little bit. But I love the flavor. It's just, oh my gosh, it just adds that kick to your food." And Mr. Carol says, "I love rice. Could eat every day. Yes, boy, loving this meal. Yes, as island people from Jamaica, the Caribbean, that's something that we pretty much have almost every day. Honestly, either with rice and peas, rice and beans or something like that. But certainly. So Eggy Toast, welcome, welcome, welcome. He says, I'm not sure what that's, the caramelized onions or something. Cheryl says, "Oh, waiting to see the kebabs." And Tujaja Peachy says, "I'm coming over for kebabs." And Andrea says, "I would put tofu after I have seasoned it." Yes. So that's what we're saying, because you don't eat a lot of meat. then maybe what you could do is you can substitute something else. So tofu would be a good option for that. So definitely yes, I would say that would work. So we're going along here. So how many do you think you're going to do? Maybe like four?
Four.
One for each of us.
One for interest of time.
Yes.
Let's do.
We need some green in there.
Yeah, celery.
It's just so pretty and so colorful. And like you said, sight is a big part of eating as well too. And so is texture, because sometimes you take some things for granted. It's kind of like you think, maybe if you just eat the food, it'll be okay. But when you have a dental issue and you can't get to chew your food properly, then you realize and you're just eating everything all soft and mushy, you're just like, you know what? Chewing is a big part of everything. It's a big part of enjoying your meal as well too. And that's why it's good to have different colors, different textures, and all of that.
Okay.
All right, so we are moving along here. Let me see what she said. Cheryl says, yes, you have this one down to the wire. What, brother head chef? Yes, he's a good cook. All right, so we got some green going in there now.
No, we're going to meat this time.
More meat.
So hold it.
Give this maybe about 5 more minutes. Give me 1 second. Let me just take a look at the cake again.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to test it with one of these skewers to see how it's doing inside here.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's very soft in the middle. I can see that.
Here they are.
A lot more time.
this is this right now, and this is 4 of them, right? Now, like I said before, when you're using the grill, you'd want to use a longer one, which the boys love because you have a whole lot more meat going on this, and it's a whole lot longer, right? So imagine this like, that size. That's what it would be like if we're using the longer ones. But in the interest of time, we're going to use these. All right. Now, normally
you're gonna put any coating on there?
No, normally
Okay.
I'll basically just bake it just for like 5 minutes or so first, and then add the sauce on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rotate it, sauce on the other side and everything, and let it basically cook in the oven that way. And that way it gets nicely coated and not burnt, right? So the reason I'm heating it this way is so that it basically would harden a little bit first. And then when it's hot and the vegetables are more porous, when we add the sauce, it'll basically absorb it real quick. And we stick it back in there just to let it basically dry out a little bit more. All right. So just give us 5 minutes while we.
So it's gonna go inside the oven now. Well, you said you wanted to do something else, guys. So you said it's a surprise to me. So I guess it is, because I thought we were just going to be doing the pineapple upside down cake and the kebabs, but he wants to do something else. So we'll see. So Minister Carol says it looks so delicious. And Cheryl says, yes, man, rice every day. Oh, yeah. Over here in America, we tend to eat a lot of pasta sometimes too, as another, starchy food to have with your meal. But island style, we have a lot of rice, but sometimes we also have, because I did a video on that sometime last year about our national dish, which is ackee and saltfish. We also add things to it like, like those root provisions, like we'll add like malanga root. We'll use green bananas, they have to be green, not partially green, the green bananas. We'll put yams, you have yellow yams, you have white yam, you have some of the yams that are like St. Vincent yam. Some of them are small, some of them are large, and you cut them in slices. It just depends. Sometimes you may have like sweet potatoes with it. We have bammies sometimes. You've seen us cook that in the past too. I think we did one like back Easter time. We cooked some bammies as well. So you can tell me some of the things that you oh my goodness, Keisha brought it. Thank you, Keisha. How could I forget that? She says nothing like boiled dumpling with yam and bananas. Yes, 100%. Yes. Because or even if we don't have boiled dumplings, sometimes we'll have fried dumplings, depending on when you're having it, like in the morning, like with our national dish. We love to have fried dumplings too. So that video that I did, it had that in there. She says, Cheryl says, looking great. Okay. All right. So we are looking good here. So now it's just a matter of time. He's just washing something else so he can show what else he had. I'm gonna have one of these pineapple chunks.
Off camera.
Fine. It is so nice and juicy, guys. So again, as the season comes on, have more and more pineapples. They're very good for you. Like I said, they even said that they're good for intestinal parasites, which a lot of people have intestinal parasites and they don't even know in America right now. A lot of the population does. So every now and then, have yourself some pineapples. Not only does it taste good, it's also good for you for so many reasons. You have vitamin C, vitamin A, different minerals and vitamins and all of that. So what's not to like? They can be sweet, so in moderation as always. Have a little bit with something else and hydrate. Have a lot of water, so it tends to wash it down, and you should be good to go. So let me see now. So see, Keisha adding in more stuff. Keisha says roast breadfruit and fried plantains. We did all of those, Keisha. You gotta go back and watch those live videos. We did all of those things because we have to get the breadfruit over here. We have to get it by the frozen one, and then we fried. So if you look at the live that we did, you can just go back to the live tab and you'll see it where we did it for Easter. We cooked fish and we had all of those things with it, and we also did corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's weekend for that weekend. And we also had those things there. So any one of those you can always watch and see how we did them when you get a chance. You can just listen while you work. So Pastor Juanita says, "What a beautiful thing. Love to see husband and wife working together in harmony. This is also your ministry." Amen. Amen. I will say amen to that. And to Georgia Peaches says, "Yes, I just boiled dumplings and left with leftovers to fry in the morning." That was another thing too. Sometimes you boil a dumpling and then, because my mom would do it when we were growing up. Because when we say fried dumplings, we mean frying from scratch. You make your dough, you put your baking powder in there, and you put it in the pot and you fry, and it rises up like a biscuit. It's very similar to biscuits over here in America. It's very similar to biscuits over here in America. Just the biscuits are a little bit lighter for it, but other than that, they're pretty much one and the same, I would say. And you can do it that way, but you also have the option if you boil your dumplings in the morning, we just slice them. They're kind of flat, so we slice them across, and then we just fry them. We fry them. The boiled one we fry it, and we eat it with our breakfast. So I definitely get what you're saying. She's gonna have the leftovers in the morning. So Sharon says, "Today I would eat mashed potatoes with my kebabs. I'm hungry, guys." Okay, yeah, you can. Because sometimes the rice takes a longer time to cook, so you can actually just do mashed potatoes and put, a bed of anything. It doesn't matter, a bed of rice. I don't think pasta would work for it. What else could we put it on? Is that maybe it then?
You can do it, or you can just have it with vegetables. Depending on what you're
Yeah,
having.
but I think those would be the most two things that would make the most sense in terms of, putting a bed of rice or a bed of mashed potatoes and then just putting it right on top there. And you're quite right on that too. She said, I know pineapples are good for indigestion. Yes, they say it's also good for your stomach. It helps to calm it down if it's kind of upset. So, you gotta love those pineapples. And Pastor Juanita says, yes, Cheryl, good idea. Absolutely. So we are waiting for him now because you said so did you need these, or are you still gonna use these? Okay, so you're gonna be frying more of the chicken pieces?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, well you want the stove on now?
Please.
So we can get a head start?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna have that warming up a little bit, getting hot, and then we can get that done as well. So right now he's actually cutting up some chickens back there. We have some that's cooked already, and then we're gonna go ahead and get those added in. So of course we have these left here, so we're gonna make some more kebabs afterwards. I'm just gonna put them to the side. Are you gonna be using these in what you're doing next, or no?
No, I'm not gonna use them.
Okay, so I'll put them away, and then we can use them.
Tell you what, I'll use the bell peppers. Can you get 2 more? I'm gonna get 3 more.
Pieces?
Yeah. No, just 2 more bell peppers.
You need a whole bell pepper?
Yeah, 2 whole bell peppers.
Well, we have 1 red and 1 yellow. That's what we have left right here. Bell peppers are just so colorful. So I'm going to put all the bell peppers together in 1 container. And then we'll go ahead and separate the other stuff. This oven always goes up every time it reaches the temperature you want. I don't know why it does that, but anyway.
Safety.
I know, but still. Maybe it's user error, possibly.
Set it for 20 minutes.
I gave it 10.
Yes. You can always take it out because they gotta go for the kebabs.
Your oven is ready for you.
I'm ready for it.
So let me go ahead and put the bell peppers. Just gonna match them by color a little bit here. You can get to them easily. Because we're gonna be doing some more of these tomorrow. So we already have this cut up for us. So that is good. Those are already in something else. I'll just put the onions to the side here so we have everything easy. And I always say, guys, whenever you're having your meals, try to eat with eat from the different colors of the rainbow so that way you're getting all of the antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that you need. And it also includes white as well too. White's not in the rainbow, of course, but the onions and garlic and all of those things with the white vegetables, they have a lot of cancer fighting properties in them and all of those things. So they're good for you. So let me clear these off so you can have some space over there.
All right, so pretty much what it is, I did the chicken in a similar way, but I cut it smaller, right? Because when you cut it smaller, it'll cook a whole lot faster. And again, you can do one or two things with what I'm doing here. You can either boil this, or you can stir fry it, or you can basically mix a batter of egg, dip this in the egg, and then you dip it in flour to coat it, and that way when you fry it, you get a egg batter around it, right? But basically, what I'm cooking here is just the chicken by itself right now, and then I'll add the sauce, and then I'll add the bell peppers, and then I'll add the pineapples last. Okay.
So that's our surprise today, guys. Or my surprise. I didn't know. I'm just packing these things away back here. I'll be right there. First. I'm going to be putting these in the refrigerator for right now because, especially in these days, it's very important to keep your food at a safe temperature. Even if they're vegetables and fruits, it doesn't matter. They can still spoil and give you, different types of gastrointestinal problems and, all of that. You don't want that. So I'm going to put those in the refrigerator until we are ready for that. In the past, growing up, it was never like that. Even like potato salads, guys. Right now, I'm so nervous to have potato salads when I go on a picnic because they can make you very sick. When we were growing up, I mean, we go on a field trip or whatever, people carry their potato salad and you have it there all day and nothing happened. Now you can get salmonella poisoning just from something as simple as that. So, we always want to make sure that our food is at a safe temperature. So let me see now. So
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and add some ginger also. Ginger, again, to help your stomach and also just to give it a little bit of flavor.
okay. So let me see the comments now. So Minister Carol says, Cheryl, that is a good tidbit. Yes. Never use pineapple for nausea. Thanks. And Tudor Pichi says, Cheryl, you got it. Yes. And then Cheryl says, those pineapples look sweet, Marlene. Yes, they are. They're so delicious. Now let me go back for one more. Because I'm talking, so I'm getting kind of thirsty, so I will go back for more. So this is when you love being a foodie. Yes, I hope you're not hungry right now, guys, because it's gonna make you more hungry. So I hope you ate before you came on here. Because if that's the case, then you're gonna be one. You're gonna start feeling hungry. So how are we looking over there now? So we're stirring away. I put my cherries back in the fridge for the same reason as well. Got to keep them refrigerated. These were in the pineapple upside down cake. And if you missed that first part, guys, be sure to go in and you can always, check out, step by step on the replay how we did it, so you can try to do that for yourself.
Check the pineapple. Give me the cake. Smelling it. All right, so what are we doing with these now? Okay. You don't want to run away from the pot. Yeah. You gonna turn it off or? No. Okay. Let me see. Yes, so Cheryl says when she loves being when we love being a foodie. So this is cooking for about 5 minutes now. So I'll give it 2 minutes more.
You're gonna tell us what you're doing, what you're gonna do next with the ingredients. I see you have the whole peppers over there.
Okay. So these are washed already, right?
Yes.
So
Let me show them what you're doing so they can see.
do it that way so I can get everything out of it. Just get everything out of it.
Yeah, I get the smell of bell peppers, man. I'm telling you.
All right,
Smells so
so
good.
in this case now, I'm just gonna cut it
Lengthwise.
lengthwise. Right, that's to help keep. You basically try to cut everything approximately the same size,
Okay.
so that the cooking time, will be the same for everything. All right, and similarly for the pineapples, I'll go ahead and make these a little bit smaller since they're not going on kebabs.
Yeah, they can afford to be a
Right.
little smaller.
All right, so I'll make them both that size. Stay there, don't go anywhere.
He's a very patient cook, I have to say. He will take the time to get it as small as it needs to be. This is a good quality.
All right, so, all right, you can turn it down.
It's
Turn
done.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go ahead and add
Let me
the
take these off from here.
go ahead and add the bell peppers. And this
Chef today.
basically, takes like about 2 minutes or so. Let me show you. So you see, chicken is basically like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead and add the bell peppers.
But he's just stirring it right now. You got a pot holder right there if you need it. You can see we have that old Dutch pot, guys. That Dutch pot is probably about 30 years old. We carried up from Jamaica and we still have it. And you had it using long before we got married, so
Yeah.
you still got that Dutch pot. They don't make them the way they used to anymore. They're not heavy like those. No, they're light.
Okay.
So let me see. So Cheryl says they make an excellent smoothie too. Yes, pineapples with ripe banana, mango, and any breed. Yes, that's a mango. Drop of syrup and maybe a twist of lime or green mango to lift the taste. Guys, try. Absolutely. Because we make these a lot. Like in the summertime and the mangoes are really nice and good. So we definitely do that. Absolutely. And then Cheryl says you have to plan a trip and take everyone to Jamaica. We could do a cookout food fest. Don't tempt us, Cheryl. Don't do that. Because we will. We will make that trip to Jamaica. You know, such a wonderful place. Minister Carol says, yes, she agrees. And Cheryl says, always love your kitchen, Marlene. Real spacious, nice, and clean. We try. You know, you constant have to maintain. These cupboards are so old because we had thought of painting them white years ago. But then we noticed that, you know, the trend is coming back to natural wood. They're coming back to natural wood now. So sometimes, you know, you don't jump on every trend that you see because you jump and you follow it and they come right back to where you were before. It just needs, you know, just kind of up level it a little bit more if you can. We just kind of clean these up and they got a little bit greasy over the years. But we just keep them natural because they're natural wood because they're right back there again. The two Georgia Beach says I would go a huge foreign boat. You would need a whole cruise line to take everybody down there. So what did you add in there just now? I see a lot of liquid in there.
Okay. So what you would do is that you can add half teaspoon of cornstarch, quarter cup of vinegar, add 3 tablespoons of sugar, brown sugar or white sugar, whichever you prefer, and then quarter cup of pineapple juice.
Tell them again. Repeat that, please.
So, come on, you memorize this stuff. I just do it by the eyeball, but for the sake of the
approximately,
for the sake of the video,
Uh-huh.
you add a half teaspoon of cornstarch.
Uh-huh. In water.
I'm just giving all the measurements, right?
Okay.
Then you add quarter cup vinegar,
Mm-hmm.
3 tablespoons of brown sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and then you add a quarter cup, or you can add a little more of the pineapple juice
Into it. Okay, yeah, that'll give it a nice
And you
flavor.
basically mix it, and the cornstarch is basically thicken it. You taste it to see if it's sweet enough. It's not sweet enough or it's not sour enough. You add a little more vinegar. That's
So
pretty much
guys,
it.
I just tested the pineapple upside down cake in the oven. As you can see right here, that is skewer. It came out clean. So we know our pineapple upside down cake is ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I won't be able to turn it out upside down so you can see it because it's still hot, and that will just mess everything up. But I will take it out so it can start to cool down because it needs at least maybe like an hour at least for it to cool down. Just put a paper towel on here because that thing is a little bit smooth. Hot. Right there. So we're gonna go ahead now and I'm gonna take it out from the oven. So I did it at 350 degrees. So that's what it's looking like now there, guys. I don't want to mess with it too much because it's hot. And I got burned out of there already by the pot cover. Oops. But just to give you an idea, see the bottom there a little bit? That's how they're looking under there. You can see the pineapple slices under there and the cherries under there and that nice syrup that he made under there. And then once it cools down, of course, we'll flip it over and you'll get to see it. So that's pretty much. And again, because I can make it from scratch, but sometimes you just want to take a little shortcut here and there. So you can just use the box. We just use the box. The mix, you basically get your mix, whatever brand you want. And this one, you just add 1 cup of water and 3 eggs and half cup of vegetable oil, and you're pretty much good to go. And just make sure the toothpick or the skewer comes out clean, and then you're good to go. So she is ready to rock and roll. Guys, I wish you were closer and you could come. I think we're gonna start to plate out the food now. Let me see. Let me see here. So Cheryl says, trust me, Georgia, you will enjoy the time. And Andrew says, can't wait to see the cake. Yes, well, there you have it, my dear. And then Cheryl says, accuracy is speed. Yes, it helps. To Georgia Peaches says, gorgeous. So I guess you liked the cake, to Georgia Peaches. And Cheryl says, you call them starter pots. Yes, she cracking up over there. Yes, so we have our dessert ready. So now he's basically sharing out the rice for us. I'm gonna use a nice little platter to put it on there.
Kebabs. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure they're gonna have that nice coating that we want on there, but they'll still be ready to eat. Because normally you do them on the grill, of course. That's instant gratification. You get that color right away. Let me move the kettle on here so you can shift them around if you need the space over there. The kettle is at room temperature. So there are our kebabs.
And let me add the sauce. Oh, I'll use the flatter one. Sorry.
So what kind of chicken did you call this one now? Man, it looks so thick and rich. Guys, and if you can see over in the pot there, with a nice thick sauce on there, what he told you how to make it a while ago is just so rich. It would go very well with everything that we have here. That kind of like summer, mid-spring, late summer, type of a theme of food going. So that would be awesome.
Okay. So for the kebabs, you
can coat them if you want.
You basically coat it, and you can have it just as it is, like this, right?
With the sauce. It's kind of like a dipping sauce, right? This one right here. So let me put it down so you can see what he's doing there. So he's just coating it. If you have like one of those barbecue brushes, you can brush it along on there.
Right.
Yeah, we need to get a new one. We don't want to use an older one.
This thing is like stupid hot. So give me 1 second.
So you're gonna put them in again, or you're just gonna serve them like that? I think we can just serve them like that.
You can serve it just like that, or no, if you're using the sauce from the bottle, you want to add a little bit of water just to make sure it's not too salt or have too much sugar on
watch
there
your
also,
sodium. Yeah.
Right, but most of the times when I buy my stuff, I try to use low sodium, but even then, I still go ahead and I add a little bit of water just to make sure it's not too salty. Right, now if you're doing this like in on the grill, what you do is that you would go ahead and you would add a can of water in there, and that will help to steam everything while
it makes
it's still
the meat
smoking,
more tender, whether it's steaks that you put on there or you're putting chicken on there or whatever the case. The steam, helps to make it more tender. Just like with cake. Some people, when they're baking cakes, which is like Christmas cakes or Jamaican black cake, they put water in there, a little pan of water, metal pan of water, and it helps to the cake have that nice steamy, moisture that we like in those heavy type of cakes. When I get some more,
Yeah.
all right, let me take a look at the chat and see how it's going. So she says he's a real chef man. I heard him mention the ginger, and that ginger is good for your stomach too. And it marries very well. I think ginger marries very well with pineapples and like bell peppers. It's a good mix. You can't really go too wrong with those. And of course, chicken goes with everything. So guys, we're coming down to plating up this food now. And plating, if you're not sure what that means, it just means that you're putting the food in the plate for display. So it's going to be served at that point to whoever is having it, or if you're taking a picture or whatever the case may be, then it will be ready for you. So we're about to get that done now. Let's go ahead and start clearing up some of these things here.
Where's all the carrot?
Oops, messed up a little bit there. We'll wipe this off. Get it back in here. Okay, my wonderful people. So anybody on here, do you think you're gonna try it? Oh, Minister Moore says the cake looks delicious. Yes. And the cake, of course, the main thing about this cake is the way it looks. And like I was saying, I've seen where people have actually put like coconut. That's a lot of sugar there, especially if you're trying to avoid your sugar. That's it under the bottom there. Nice and ready for us. If you want, you can always you can caramelize the sugar a little bit before you actually put the pineapple slices on there to start, so it's even darker at the bottom. If that's the look that you want, it just depends on what you're going for at that time. All right, so we're gonna go. Are you ready to plate up the food now?
Yep.
Let me see. Yeah, because of the time. So we share out the rice. So he shared the rice out like some. We can leave that there. That's fine.
Let it go.
So what did you call that one again? I forgot. I keep forgetting, guys. I'm
Sweet
sorry.
and sour pineapple.
Sweet
chicken.
and sour pineapple chicken. Okay. So this has a lot of is that gravy or would you say sauce that it has
Sauce.
with it? Sauce. Okay. And we don't eat shrimp, but I imagine that like that probably would work for something like shrimp too. If you are a shrimp eater, we're not, but or like if you don't want to have the same type of meat for the two things that you have on the plate, you could maybe do beef, like
the
steaks
kebabs.
for the kebabs, and then you do chicken for that, or some other, tofu if you like that mixed with it, just something different to kind of mix it up. All right, so he is coming, guys. Let me see what else we have here. So Cheryl says, Miss Carol, you know sometimes we take these little things for granted, and that is so true, And especially, I don't know, since the pandemic happened for me, I'm trying more these days to not take the little things for granted, because you realize the things you take for granted, how important they are to you and to your life, because we didn't have them anymore. They went away, they went on pause or whatever. They have to try to bring it back. So I absolutely agree. And then Lorna says, Marlene, can I see the sauce bottle again? Yes, absolutely. It's over here. Can you tell them where you got this to buy? Because this is not available everywhere. Some of these things you may have to buy them on Amazon online, but it tastes so good. But again, he says like diluted, add a little water, maybe like half and half, so not too much sugar or sodium in there. I don't know. Sometimes the camera reads it the reverse way. So let me read it for you if you can't see that well. So it's P.F. Chang's. I don't know you know about P.F. Chang's. They have a restaurant chain in most places in the United States. I'm not sure if they're in Jamaica too. And this is called Kung Pao sauce, right? So that's what it is right there. And again, it's P.F. Chang's. There are other brands as well too, but the main thing is to remember that it's a Kung Pao sauce. Like you have Kung Pao chicken, same thing. So if you don't get this brand, you can try for other brands that they have online. And this goes very, very well with it. So I hope that helps you, Lorna. She said, I'm going to try it. Sharon says, a good old Dutchie. Yes, ma'am. The Dutchie is over 30 years old because September coming, we'll be married for 25 years. And when I met him, he already had that. And we courted for a couple of years. So he's had it for a while. So when he came up to America with us, it's heavy. I like it. Because nowadays, some of them that they have, they're light. You can go to the international market and you see them sometimes, they don't have the weight. They're still good, but they're not the heavy old-time ones that we are used to. So there's your sauce right there, Lorna. I hope that helps you. And, you can let me know, in a chat or wherever if you tried it. We're on Instagram anyway, so you can always let me know on there. You can direct messenger me if you want and let me know how it went. A lot of orange in there. So he's cutting some what do you call it, green onions?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it green onions over here in America, but in Jamaica we call it scallion. All right, so this is looking good. So he put some green in there. So this is it right here. Did you want to take a picture in case Pastor Juanita, because the last time I remember she did a screenshot.
What?
She wanted to see. Do you want to take your glasses off and take a picture with it here, right here? Pastor Juanita, and if you're still there, I don't know if you wanted to do it, but just in case, so you can get a screenshot right here. But you have to come around. No, don't worry about that part. Just come.
Okay. Come around.
Oh Lord, you're gonna do something else. All right. You can tell, guys, I'm ready to eat, right? I'm so ready for this food right now. So Cheryl says, I'm going to really try this. I'm gonna use some honey. Okay, that works too. Honey and blend the pineapple juice or the pineapple with it to glaze it. Thanks for the idea, Marlene. Thank you, Marlene. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And so I thought of the pineapples, but I know he's very good at doing those type of things, the pineapple type thing. So I said, come on in and show us the way. So I think he did a really good job with it so far. and I know it's gonna taste good because I've been tasting as I go along, so I know everything is perfect. And remember, guys, you season the chicken to your liking. Your salt, your pepper. Well, no pepper, your salt, and your garlic powder, onion powder, just to start. And he did fry the garlic out in the oil first. You don't have to do that, but if you want an extra kick from the garlic, you can always, fry it out in the oil, and then you add your chicken pieces to it, fry it around, and then you'll be good to go. So we're just waiting now. I think he wants to do, put the drink together. Let me cover my rice. It's over here. That's hot.
Yes, please.
It's a bad idea. It's hot, but it's not that hot. But I don't want to get burned like that. So anyway, he's bringing the drink over. So we have the food that we are ready for. We are coming. So here it comes. Gonna get a picture. I have to hold it down so we can you can see exactly how it looks. The lighting is also a little bit off over here, so
It's too bright.
yeah, but if we turn it dark, then they won't be able to see. So no, they won't see us though. Just leave it right there.
I'm gonna step back a little bit.
Okay, so here it is, guys. I don't know how good you can see it.
Let me just bend it down a bit.
That they can't see us. No, you can't see it.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's your food. Okay. The green didn't pick up as well in the picture, but it's there though. You can see because he did put the green onions in there as that nice garnish, and he has like the carrots, raw carrots. They're good for you. We have that special peeler. My mother-in-law says she wants one, and she saw it on the last live, where it just it gives you like the little circles, like little coils, and you put them in there. This is gonna stay hot because it came from the oven. You use a microwave nowadays, it doesn't keep your food that hot for too long. But when you do them, from the oven or from the pot, then they are good to go. Yes, guys, and we have our drink right here. We're ready to go with that. Actually, I could probably put like let me see if I can get a toothpick. Since we are cooking pineapple, I think we should have pineapple on the garnish. Do you have any more cherries there?
Yes, you do.
So we have a little bit of red and the red and the yellow going from the pineapple. We can add a little cherry to it as well. And I'm gonna leave the stem on the cherry, because I think it makes it look cute on there.
Got it.
If it will stay for me.
You got a stick on it. I got a toothpick.
So that is it right here. So we have a nice drink. We have our strawberry. And it could be a little small. We could have maybe used half of it, but anyway, you get the idea. So you have it right here. So we're ready to have a nice drink. And, we are pretty much good to go. So, guys, I hope it gave you some great ideas. Remember, my channel really is about gardening. My regular videos, these lives are just to introduce some vegetables or some fruits or maybe even some flowers, because these all come from the garden, just to give you ideas on what we discuss, maybe twice per month, once per month, depending on what's going on in our lives. But we get to interact. I absolutely love doing them, even though it does take some preparation. But nevertheless, I hope it inspires you to try this for yourself, and other variations. You make it the way you want. So we thank you so much for joining us today. So we're gonna say bye-bye, and be sure to share the video out with anyone you think that may want to see it. Just and give me a thumbs up on the way out if you haven't already. But please share it. Enjoy this meal whenever you're ready to have it. Bon appetit. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next live video. And thanks so much for supporting me. I love you. God go with you all and give you a blessed rest of the weekend. Okay, take care. Bye, guys. Bye to Georgia Peaches. Bye, Pastor Juanita. Bye, Lorna. Take care, guys, and check out these other channels too. Lorna and all the other ladies. Andrew's Kidney Transplant Live. We also have Pastor Juanita from Rock of Faith on her channel as well too. So all these wonderful creators that are on here, we thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And again, if you didn't get to see it from the start, please go on and hit the replay once we're done here, so you can catch all the different steps and you get to see everything. So again, finished product. We have our drinks. We have our pineapple upside down cake. So this is the two right here, the drinks and the food. And of course we have the we borrowed the pot holders. I don't want to get burned in here on this day because I almost did a moment ago. It wasn't too hot though. And of course we have our pineapple upside down cake. The pineapple is under the bottom.
Okay, there you
Right
go.
there. So there you have it, guys. So take care. Thanks again for stopping by and have a wonderful weekend. Alrighty, bye. I'm going to end the stream now. Have a good one, guys. Blessings to you all.